One of the best powerful secrets to making lasting habit change is utilizing open-ended questions. All of the time, our brains are looking for information, filtering things in, seeing things, not seeing things. And when we use open-ended questions with a focus, we can actually support habit change and be more successful in business, in life, with your projects, with your hobbies, with your relationships, all of those things. And to start off, I want to share a quick story of a few years ago. There was a woman that I was coaching in business, and she told me at our first meeting, I am so worried that I'm going to fail in business. So every day I read about failing businesses. And my eyes got really wide, and I leaned back a little and I said, wait a minute. You need to stop that today. And actually, when I coach with people, I very rarely have definitive do this, don't do this, stop this right now. But what she was doing was so harmful for her desires, for her business trajectory, that she had to stop immediately. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. But first, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Rachel Stravelli. I write, I make videos, I coach people one-on-one. I am here to help you embrace your whole self, believe and realize and see that your life is unfolding exactly as it should. And if it feels like you look around and you're like, but this isn't what I wanted, well, let's tune in, let's connect, and let's realign that to the life that is what you desire. Let's work with your strengths. Let's accept yourself, and let's create that life that you really have a deep desire and need for. All right, so this woman, unknowingly, what she was doing was she was focusing on failure and essentially imprinting stories of failure in her mind. And what I asked her to do instead, because she didn't want to fail, she thought that by researching failure, she could avoid it. But instead, she was just immersing herself in failure. I said, I want you to focus every day on successful businesses, people who you admire, people who are paving the way, people who are doing great things in their businesses. That's what I want you to read and support your mind with and support your whole being with. Because we have something in our brain, the reticular activating system, and it filters in information and filters out. So it lets information in and stops what we don't even realize that we're not absorbing. So by reading about failure, she thought she was learning the secrets to success. But what I knew is that she was just continuously focusing on what she didn't want. But at that point, she didn't know what was unsuccessful or successful. It all seemed the same to her because she didn't have a good way of filtering it out. Now, one of the things that open-ended questions can do is start working with your brain in a way so that things that you have been unknowingly filtering out and not even seeing, because your reticular activating system, it's hardwired into us from a young age. We don't consciously set out to make it a certain way when we're 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. But the people we're around, the culture we're in, the things we absorb, that hardwires it. But your brain can change. There's the term neuroplasticity. You can change the way you see things, the way you think of things, the map that you build in your mind of reality. And one of the ways that you can work with this change is through open-ended questions. And so I'm going to give you 5 questions that you can use in your life about a problem or a specific change that you want to make right now. And there's a link below. I have a handout if you want to sign up, and I have a few other videos on this theme too. First off, you're going to want to think about what is the habit change that you want? What is the thing that you desire? It might be something pretty broad, like that woman who I talked about. I want to have a successful business. So hers would be, what does a successful business look like? Like that's the answer she's desiring. It might be you want to have a loving relationship. You want to work out 5 times a week. You want to stop procrastinating. Whatever this change is, you can use these questions to help you to see it differently and to start accessing ways in which you can achieve this. If a successful business was easy, then And then I want you to finish that statement. So first you've asked yourself, what does a successful business look like? And then you can ask, if creating a successful business was easy, then blah, 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 blah. If your topic is giving up smoking, if giving up smoking was easy, then, or you can say, what would it look like if giving up smoking was easy? What would it look like if giving up fast food was easy? And the things that come into your mind, and this is why it's really helpful to get that handout that I'm talking about, write down the things that come into your mind. Really start looking at that, because this is going to be giving you hints as to what are the thoughts going on up in here that you may not even be aware of. Because some of those things are what are stopping you, consciously or unconsciously, from moving forward to this thing that you desire. The next question is, how would it feel if I had already accomplished this? And this is one of those questions that when you ask yourself this, the longer you can envision what this is, and the more that you can visualize it in rich detail, sensory detail, colors and smells and time of day and lighting and temperature and all of that, clothing you're wearing, how you're feeling, as many details as you can bring into that, it helps your mind start to have a picture of what that is, so that you can start seeing it and feeling it and bringing it to life. So how would it feel if I had accomplished creating a successful business? How would it feel if I was in a loving relationship? And I don't want you to just stop with just one word and one feeling. Don't just stop with, oh, feel good. Okay, that's not much to work with. Your brain really wants to focus on rich detail, sensory detail. How would it feel good if I had already accomplished creating a successful business? Oh, I would wake up feeling this way. At the end of the work week, I would feel this way. This is what would happen when I'm talking to my friends. This is how I would feel when I look at my bank account. All of those embellishments that you can do with this question. Next, I want you to think about, what are some hard things that I have accomplished in the past? So I want you to reflect back. And this is for you. It may not be what other people deem as hard, but something that you felt was a challenge that you overcame, that you worked with. How would I feel? What would I do if I believed that my life was unfolding exactly as it should and this was going to happen? How would I act? How would I feel? What would I do if I believed my life was unfolding exactly as it should and that this change was inevitable? If you're dating, you might think, well, I would have created the online profile. Like, I would do it if I knew that it was inevitable that I would meet someone that way. If a successful business was inevitable, and you know, oh, people who have a successful business do this many sales calls per week. Well, you know the answer. You may not know all the answers, but when you ask this question, something comes up. And that something is your next step. That something is something that I want you to be bringing forth. So if it's about not smoking, and what comes up is, I need to change my route on the way to work so I don't drive by the place where I buy the cigarettes. Well, there you go. It might seem simple or silly. Like, some of your responses to these questions might not be what you expect it to be. That's okay. And also, this is an activity you can repeat once a week if you wish, to start really delving into what are some of the underlying thoughts, feelings, beliefs that are based around this habit. Because a lot of times with creating a new habit or a new change in our life, bringing a new reality into existence, there's a lot there, and it involves effectively creating a new identity. And in order to create this whole new identity, you're going to have to face and see what was the identity that you had before. And are you stepping into this identity that you believe is the identity that goes along with the successful business, the loving relationship, the non-smoker who exercises 5 times a week? whatever it is that you feel you want to, these questions will help you evoke your feelings and your beliefs. Now, this is also something that if you feel like, whoa, this sounds cool, but this is a lot to work through, Rachel. This is one of the things that I work with people one-on-one, and it's a really exciting process. It's so illuminating as you start to get to know yourself. It can be really powerful to be working one-on-one with someone and have them reflect these things back to you. I also do work in small groups if that feels more comfortable to you. So you can click below. I do a free discovery call, so feel free to reach out if that is something that appeals to you. All right, I am curious, which one of these open-ended questions did you feel a little bit of excitement about, thinking, oh, that could actually be useful. That could be a handy question that she just asked me. I'd love to know if there's one that you connected with more than another. You can comment below, and you can also comment, if you wish, what is this change that you desire? What are you working on creating in your life, creating in your world? All right, I don't charge anything for this video, but a thumbs up is pretty affordable. So why don't you go ahead and give this a thumbs up? That shows YouTube that this is a good video. It'll tell YouTube, show it to other people who can get something out of it, because I want us all to be bringing forth more of what is within us and more of what we want to bring into the world. All right, I wish you the best today. I can't wait to see you in the next video.